Hello, viewers of Nasa's channel. Today, we will try to understand the Libran. We will talk about the sign of Libra. Those who are Libra, I hope you will find it interesting. For those who live with Librans, I hope you will understand them better and are able to have more harmony in your coexistence with them. The sign of Libra is ruled by the planet Venus. We have already spoken about the planet Venus in the sign of Taurus, so let's review what Venus represents. Venus represents beauty, art, love, marriage, human relations, diplomacy, grace, harmony, and the feminine. So Librans have an affinity with all of these things. Let's talk a little bit about them. First of all, there is a grace, a charm, a lightness, a softness in the way they express themselves. And since it is a sign that has to do with human relations, the Libran is able to charm people, and they achieve many things by their charm alone, while the Virgo achieves these things through hard work and efficiency. And the Cancerian achieves things through the heart and through their feelings. Librans obtain that with their charm and diplomacy. So, it could be that they don't say what they think in a certain moment because they feel. They have that ability, so they know what they must say. They don't have the impulsivity of someone of Aries, who speaks the truth and usually ends up hurting people. Librans generally have a great social intelligence. That is why it is common, in any area, to find Librans who are mediators. In that business, in the work they do, they are mediators. So they can listen to both sides, because Libra is the sign of balance. It's the sign of justice. And as so, they are very fair and like to see both sides, because they look for justice. So Librans have sensitivity with social injustice. They don't like to see inequality. They always look for balance. And this is a great virtue. This is one thing that Aries, the opposite sign, needs to learn from them. So in a situation in particular, the Libran will try to harmonize both sides. If there's conflict, they're ideal to harmonize and mediate between. Now let's see the opposite sign, Aries, to see what's missing. What is missing is to have firm individuality and their own point of view. Because Librans want so much to reconcile the points of views that in the end, they may not know what they themselves think, what they want, or the middle ground. If I want to please people and seek to make everybody happy, but in the end, I go against myself. So people of Aries teach us that it is important to always follow one's own point of view. The Librans have to learn this. And sometimes, even the maximum of diplomacy is not able to solve a conflict. And in other situations, it is necessary to fight. It is necessary to tell the truth, which is sometimes hard to hear. And that is something that Librans don't like to do because they like to preserve good relations and harmony. Another thing in relation to the sign of Venus is physical beauty. It is a sign that gives considerable physical beauty. There are many women of Libra who are famous for their beauty, men also. The signs ruled by Venus, Taurus and Libra, have this characteristic. And as I said, in the way of expression as well, they can also have artistic talents, which is also very common. And as the sign ruled by Venus, but ruled by the element air, they are more intellectual than the Taurians. They are intellectual Venusians. They love books, they love culture, and they are very refined. They love history of art and architecture. That is, knowledge that is connected to beauty, knowledge that improves and makes the environment more pleasant and more beautiful. They also enjoy literature, culture in general, and value courtesy, that people are courteous so that everything is in harmony. Another very important aspect of Libra is that it is the sign of marriage. the sign of partnership, which is opposite to the sign of individualism, which is represented by Aries. So Librans generally need to be accompanied in order to feel fulfilled. They like to have someone by their side, that companion that will accompany them in all situations. And they have the capacity to be in a relationship, to live as a couple, because they see life as a couple. They know how to make concessions, they know how to give room to make the other people happy. So generally, people of Libra obtain happiness in marriage. Because they find themselves in marriage, they seek out to be with someone, to live together. The only danger is that the Libran might let their life revolve too much around their spouse and forget about himself or herself, and ends up losing his or her identity in the process. So when they fall in love with someone, Librans have to be careful not to be totally dependent on that person and remember who they are. It's not that because they're a couple that they need to stop doing things they like to do when they were alone. If the person likes to play the guitar and the husband or wife doesn't like it, he or she doesn't need to stop playing the guitar. If he likes to study something like mathematics and the spouse is not in favor of it, then he needs to listen to his own voice, the voice of his individuality. They always fall into wanting to please others and have everybody happy. So in general, Librans can learn to channel their diplomacy and refinement to improve society, to improve the environment, to beautify the environments where they walk, to not convert their love for justice into something ruthless, about finding justice in everything, because diversity and difference is a law of life, and there are differences in nature itself. So total equality is not possible, and the Librans struggle to find total equality ends up being impossible, because differences are the very part of nature. There are different species in nature that have strength and beauty on many different levels. In short, total equality is impossible to find, and Librans must understand this without losing their sense of justice and without losing the desire to always reconcile and the ability to listen to both sides of a situation. I hope you liked our video. If you did, please give us a like. Subscribe to our channel where we always upload interesting reflections. Now we are doing a series on astrology, but we are always creating videos of the most diverse topics that have to do with Gnostic wisdom. And if you want to participate in a Gnostic course, look in your city to find where your local center is. On our website, www.gnosis.is, you can find information about our centers and the start dates of our courses. The next sign that we will study is Scorpio. We hope to see you there. Thank you very much.